Pats versus Jags. Jags are 5.5-point favorites. This is the London game. So, like, the bad news for the Jags, there is real chaos on this team. Our guy, Doug Peterson, who we love, he's on his last legs here. Trevor Lawrence is regressing. A player on defense came out and said after the Bears game that they basically gave up in that game, which Doug Peterson refuted. The good news, favorites excel in the international games with the historically dominant Caleb Williams leading the Bears this past weekend. They're now 36-10-1 straight up, 32-15 against the spread. That's the favorites. What do you think here?
Just going to go back to what I did last week. I mean, Evan Gillis had an amazing stat. Before last week, rookie quarterbacks were 0-5 against the spread in this exact spot playing international games. 4 of those quarterbacks had lost by 14 plus. And, you know, what we saw last week was Williams, he's different. I mean, we talked about, we never seen a rookie QB throw for 4 touchdowns in an international game. Like that's
and run
historical.
for a touchdown and run for 5 touchdowns in the game. Let's just be clear. It's 5 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah, it's impressive. There's a reason this spread's that big, though, because people are asking, shouldn't we take Drake May? The Jags are terrible. They shouldn't be respected this much. It's too much of a movement. I think it's just based off those statistics where favorites usually cover. They usually do well in London. And then you mix in rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle in this exact spot. So you're right. Doug Peterson loses this game. He's guaranteed to be fired. I mean, this is a guaranteed fired spot for Doug Peterson. And as an Eagles fan, I've been hearing it. Is that Eagles, Nick Foles, Doug Peterson, the flukiest Super Bowl ever in NFL history? It's hard to debate it now that we're this many years later. It's like, it is pretty crazy to think back that this man was able to motivate that team. And, you know, I still think Doug's a good coach. It's just things are not bouncing their way for this Jaguars team. Like everything that could go wrong keeps going wrong for them. Even in against your Bears team, like opening drive, they get the ball back. He throws a pass in the second half. The guy fumbled it. You guys go right down the field, score another touchdown. It just everything keeps going wrong for this team. So thank God we can't put this one in contest, but I'll bet it is right now. It's under 6 at 5.5. I'll take that number, but with very little confidence in my betting this Jaguars team.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot for Drake May. And
terrible spot.
It is also a Jaguars team, like you said. Doug Peterson is coaching for his life here, and he might be at a point where he's just like, freaking fire me. Let me get back to the South to South Jersey, get on the beach, go play some pool, have some beers. Like, this is just not what I was expecting at all. And the Jaguars owners said before the season, this is the best roster they've ever had. Like, they had a very high expectation. So all of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence in what will be, I think, year 4 or 5 will now be going on to his 3rd new head coach and have an albatross of a massive deal hanging over the entire franchise. And by the way, they've signed a lot of guys to big deals, not just Trevor Lawrence. They got Josh Hines Allen too. So they have committed a lot of money to guys who are not getting it done. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Thank God we can't put it in the contest.